like everyone's down there. They're all. She's so pretty. Oh yeah, I was obsessed with her.
Okay. Whoops, there we go. Okay, where's the mute? Hello.
Hello.
Guys, I don't see the mute all. What the hey? I normally do. Will everyone just go ahead and mute themselves? You're the bomb. Wow, I can't get over the darkness in here. All right, this is slightly better. All right, hi, welcome to our team call tonight. I am so excited because we haven't had a guest speaker in a little bit, and ALY is someone who I'm so excited to introduce you guys tonight. She's kind of a rock star, and it's no wonder to me that I was immediately drawn to her. I met her at New Leadership in January, and the fact that we hadn't met sooner than that completely baffles me because we are both actors in New York. We are in the same audition centers all the time, but we had just never run into each other. So of course, the two actors at New Leadership find each other immediately, and we got a chance to have a drink at the end of the night, our last night there, and just kind of talk and pick each other's brains. And I'm really excited for you guys to hear from her tonight. She signed up as a coach in October 2014, so at the end of 2014, and ended last year as a top 200 coach. She was an elite 5-star diamond coach at the very end of last year, and she is a Success Club 10 All-Star. So this is a girl who has just taken all of her excuses, put them aside, and really zoned in on the things that she wants to achieve. So listen to her tonight, kind of take some little tidbits. She's going to talk about the importance of consistency and ratios, and just listen to her because she has been rocking it pretty much since day one. And I'm sure she's going to tell you she had no idea really what she was getting herself into when she joined this whole thing. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and I'm going to let you take over, ALY. I'm so excited.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here. And I just love Courtney so much. Every time I see her, she just makes me feel so calm, which is like something that I'm not normally. And she's just so awesome. So you guys are really lucky. You have an amazing leader. She's such a great head on her shoulders. And enough said about that. Anyways, very excited to be here. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my story, how I got involved, and then I'm going to talk about consistency and ratios, and then I'm going to open it up to a Q&A. So literally, if you have questions that you want to ask, just ask. It doesn't have to be about what we're talking about. It can be about anything. Okay? So basically, I'm an actor, and I met my coach, Megan, who is an incredibly successful coach as well, on a contract in the middle of nowhere. And she signed me up in a Starbucks without telling me what I was doing. She said, put in your social security number here, put in your credit card here. And I was like, okay, I just did it. And then, I told you October 2014, because like, that's when I had PIO and 21 Day Fix for about 3 months before that, but I didn't even understand what coaching was. And my coach kept being like, are you going to post your new coach post? I was like, what are you talking? Like, I don't understand. So finally I put something up in October and I got 170 likes on it. And I just sort of, without any scripts, any systems, Megan had been in the business for about 4 years, or she'd been in the business now for 4 years. So about 2 years then, or little over, but she didn't have any scripts or systems at that time. Like, that's not something she was using or utilizing. And so I just sort of like went crazy. I was talking to everyone. I messaged every single one of those people, all 170. If they told me no, I didn't let them tell me no. I literally made pretty much everyone sign up with me. I think I had like 37 people join me in my first challenge or something like that. And not all of them with a challenge pack, because I didn't even know that that's what was the perfect thing to sell them, like, or give them. Like, some of them had just Shakeology, some of them had a workout. Like, no one told me anything. Now Megan and I work together, and we've created all these systems and scripts, and we tell people that they only sign people up with the challenge pack except for very special circumstances, all these things. Anyways, I think my first paycheck was like almost $400 my first week. And that was the same amount as a little over 2 shifts at my bar, maybe 2 shifts at my bar. And I thought, this is way more fun than working at a bar and carrying beer. And so if that's what I need to do to make $400 a week, if that's the amount of work I need to put in, I'm going to do that for sure. And not every week when I was a new coach did I make $400, but like for me, I'm very motivated by money. I'm also very motivated by helping people, but money really speaks to me. I don't know if you guys take the color test on your team, but I showed up as blue, but I'm a red. I'm a blue red. Anyways, so money speaks to me. And also after that first round, so many people came to me telling me that I had like changed their lives. I was like, this is the best job on earth. How can I not just run with this? So basically, before I knew about consistency and ratios, that's what we're going to talk about, I was doing that already without anyone telling me that I had to. And I had decided, so let's talk about consistency, ratios, and your why. Is that okay, Courtney? Okay, great. Because your why is like the main thing. You have to know why you're doing it. You have to connect with it. And there were so many times that I struggled with that and struggled with my why and pushed against it. But because I thought it was stupid and I thought it was too small, but it really motivated me. So it doesn't matter what it is as long as it motivates you to get up and do the work when you don't want to do it. So my first thing was I had lived in tons of roach-infested sublets with people that I didn't know, and I wanted to sign a lease on an apartment, and I didn't want it to just be any apartment. I wanted it to be a luxury apartment in my favorite area, which is one of the most expensive areas in New York City to live in. And I knew I wanted to make it happen, and I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew that if this business could help take me there, I would use it for everything it had. So I decided that that was my why. And I spent a lot of time telling people that that was really stupid, but it wasn't stupid. It really motivated me to put in the work. So after this, maybe some homework. Why don't you send your upline your why, even if it's something small, but if it's something that motivates you to get out of bed in the morning, and even when you're busy, put in your power hour or make the time to give time to your business, then it's valid, okay? So if you're writing notes, write down that you need to send your upline your why, okay? And then, so I think there are a few things that we need to talk about when we're talking about consistency. So the main thing, actually not the main thing, one of the main things is you have to be using social media as your outlet to share your story very vulnerably and with thought, not just willy-nilly, not just I'm going to post a swelfie, but if you're going to post a swelfie, then post what that swelfie did for you, why, what this journey has done for you. Connect it back to something that has meaning and purpose that will provide someone else with inspiration and motivation. So you're posting, you have to be posting on social media. You can't, I mean, unless on my team, I don't know if Courtney has other systems, we only use social media. And we use obviously personal relationships as well, but not nearly as much as social media. Social media is the only way. I have not done a single Facebook ad. I just started using Instagram. I do have a very large network on Facebook, and I am lucky because I meet lots of people because I'm an actor. But I've built 2 5-star without anything else but my warm market on Facebook. So it's really important that you share your story there, because people, if they connect to you, they will eventually join you at least for a challenge, if not as a coach. If you show them the value of what we have to offer on your personal page, they will definitely catch on. They will be watching. Even if they're not liking or commenting, they're lurking. Because I cannot tell you guys, I have messaged people who have been silent, and they're like, oh yeah, I've seen that you've been doing this and this and this, and you're so inspiring. And I know that we don't know each other that well, but I just had somebody say that to me, just like literally right before I got on the Zoom. She said, should I read it to you? She goes, oh dude, that's awesome. I'm so inspired by you, even though I don't really know you that well. Keeping on. You're doing so much good for yourself and our community. She's never liked a single post of mine. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you. Do you want to get coffee this week? Because we're going to talk. Like, you're probably going to join my team because you probably need this in your life, right? So posting on Facebook, posting on Instagram, very, very necessary. And then also taking that to the next level. And on my team, we follow up with every single person who likes and comments, even if they're your mom or your grandma or someone who you think would never want to do this or someone who is already into fitness. The only reason we don't follow up with someone is if we know that they're on our team or if they're a Beachbody coach. That's the only reason I don't follow up with somebody who likes or comments. And that's on every post, not just on my fitness related posts, because I try to, even on my normal everyday posts, just slip in that one little thing that says something about like either what coaching has done for me or what living a healthy lifestyle has done for me. It doesn't matter what it is. And then even if I didn't slip in that one little thing, those people who are liking that are engaged on my page. And if people who aren't engaged on my page have seen everything else that's been going on, then those people have most likely seen everything that I've been posting, and they're not going to be taken aback when I message them about joining a fitness challenge or getting information for being on my team. And if they say no, I don't care. That's fine. Okay, thank you so much. And you know what? They go on my contact list because I'm going to follow up with them again. Because I see that this has so much, there's nothing negative about this. If you join a fitness challenge, it's going to do something negative for your life. It's going to do something positive for your life. Even if that you just join it for 3 weeks and you leave, like you don't connect with Shakeology or you don't connect with coaching, that's fine. But I don't feel bad about remessaging people because I know how many people have told me that this has changed their existence. Okay. So consistently following up with everyone who likes and comments by inviting them to either a challenge group or the coaching opportunity. And then consistently, if you don't have enough people who are engaged on your page, to do at least 10 invites a day, I would say that's like my number, at least, then inviting at least 10 people from your chat or from your friend list or from your Instagram followers or from some social media network, because the only way that you're going to move your business forward is to invite. So that's the most important. All these go together, but the most important thing is to consistently be inviting. You can't not invite. You have to invite. Whenever people tell me that they're having trouble in their business and I see that they're posting, I said, okay, well, tell me like what you think is the problem here. Have you been inviting? And I just had someone today, got off a Zoom with someone earlier who I said, before we get on the Zoom, I only have a few minutes. So I'd like you to write down for me your goals for this month, your goals for the week, how you're going to make that happen on a daily basis, and how many times a week you're going to do your power hour. So what your power hour looks like and how many times you're going to do it. So she got on the Zoom and she held up the piece of paper to me and it said everything on there. I'm going to post. I'm going to form new relationships. I'm going to add to my network. I'm going to, I don't know what she said even. I'm going to check in with my challengers. And I said, does it say on there somewhere how many people you're going to invite? Like I was looking for it because like that's the most important thing. She's like, oh, no, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, you have to invite, like, how are you going to sign 2 coaches if you don't invite anyone to this opportunity this whole month? So you have to consistently be inviting, consistently be following up, because it takes about 5 to 10 follow-ups normally for the person to say yes. And even if you feel like you're bugging them, you're not. So be creative with your follow-ups. I use Facebook Messenger as an excuse to follow up all the time. But I can't tell if you've seen that last message. Did you happen to see that? Or Facebook Messenger is so crazy. Maybe you didn't see that. Is everything okay? I haven't heard from you in a little while. It kind of sounds like I'm having a conversation with myself. Are you all right? Anything to get them talking to you. Because normally what's happening is they're having some hesitation and you need to get them talking to you in a normal way so you can say, okay, so what is going on? Because if you're having some hesitations, that's totally fine, but you need to tell me about them because I'm not going to make you do something you don't want to do. But I also want to make sure that we talk through everything because that's what a coach does. And the minute you said yes to details, I started coaching. So follow up. So far we've gone through posting, following up with everyone who likes and comments on your posts, inviting and following up. And then also consistency, and this is something I struggle with a lot, consistency with talking to your challengers and making sure that they're taken care of, making sure that they're posting in the group, making sure that they're especially using their Shakeology and understanding how important the Shakeology is to the whole entire process. Because really, you have to believe in Shakeology 100% to make this business work for you because that's where your sustainable income comes from, right? You don't want to always and forever be doing retail sales. I mean, you're going to have to be doing some of that forever if you're going to make a long-term business with this, but you don't want to be relying, like at the beginning when I made $400 my first week, that was pure retail. To keep up $400 a week at pure retail would be an insane amount of work, and it wouldn't be sustainable, and it wouldn't compound. Like right now, all the Shakeology orders that are coming through and the reorders and my coaches building good businesses is how I'm making my money. I only make about $150 a week on average through retail and customer leads. That's not very much. And I'm still working a lot, but I'm doing something that feels almost better to me. I put in the work for a long time doing retail so that I could build a strong team. And now I help my coaches build their businesses strong, which I think is very rewarding as well as having normal challengers. Anyways, I digress. Following up with your challengers, making sure they're taken care of because you want your Shakeology is that the right word? Retainment? Courtney? Is that the right word? Is that the right word, babe? Huh? You want your Shakeology retainment? You want to retain customers?
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. All right. So glad this is video recorded. Retention. Yeah, great. Perfect. Thank you, ALY. So anyways, you want them to stay with you. You want your customers to feel good. And also, you want to consistently be telling them how amazing they are in the group. And if they're not amazing, you want to consistently be telling them they need to participate in the group so that you can tell them that they're amazing in the group. Because that's where your coaches come from. A lot of my coaches came from my challenge groups. Now I mostly do like coach outreach. I reach out to someone specifically for the intention of them building a business with me and becoming a business partner of mine. But before, I used to have people in my challenge groups and I would say to them, oh my God, you're so motivating. You're doing a better job of coaching people than me almost. You're already doing the job. Why are you not getting paid for this? Join my team. Let's build a fitness empire. That's what I would say to them. And I had so many people join my team. A lot of them are still with me now. So consistently following up with your challengers and coaches. And then also doing personal development. I'm so embarrassed because for like a year, I was like, I'm happy. I feel like I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't need anyone to tell me that I could do better or that I need to like open my heart and mind. And then all of a sudden it was like, whoosh, it was like life came down on me. It was right before I was about to hit 5-star or something like that, maybe 2-star. And I was like, how am I doing this? What does this mean? I'm freaking out. I can't do this anymore. I don't understand. And it was just because I had just relied on myself for so long without any sort of outside personal development that it just like, I was done. I was empty, done. And then it took a while for me to build myself back up. So if you just do it consistently, theme of the day, you won't ever get to that point where you feel so depleted. Because as your business grows, you're going to need to grow with it because the speed of the leader is seriously the speed of the pack. It's just the way it works. When I'm not paying attention to my business, as much, like during audition season, I saw my team just like plummet. And it is harder to build them back up than it is to just consistently be doing the work and showing them that you can. So if you have a team as well, being consistent with your team, being a good leader, really, really important. Okay. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about consistency. That was a lot of stuff that you should be consistent with. So in life, you should probably just be consistent. You should get your work. You should get your power hour in. You should really do the work on a daily basis. And if you have goals that you want to achieve, my advice to you would to be consistent with what you're doing and then do a little bit more. Because really that is what makes the difference. Because nobody, just like I said, nobody told me how to do this. Basically, all of the systems and scripts that my team has, which is a lot, came directly from my brain to paper, and Megan and I use them both. We both use them. And it was just me writing down what worked for me and putting it on paper so that I could use it again. And then it happened to be duplicatable because I could give it to my team. So write down what you're doing that works for you and share it with Courtney so she can share it with the team, and then share it with your team. What was I going to say? Oh, little side note. So when I first started, I didn't know what Success Club 5 and Success Club 10 was. And I hit Success Club 27. And my upline, like my 10-star diamond, she's making ridiculous money a year, messaged me and she's like, where are you getting all these people? I was like, I don't know. I just talked to them on Facebook Messenger. And she's like, what? And I was like, why? She's like, you hit SC 27. I was like, I don't know what that means. Like, of course I hit SC 27. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make $400 a week. And she was like, okay. And we like literally have not talked again. Like, she's just like, she congratulated me on 5 stars. She's like, you're going to be our first 15-star diamond coach. But what I'm saying is, like, the reason I'm saying this is because I didn't give myself a limit. I didn't say like, I'm going to hit SC 10 and stop. You know, I didn't give myself that goal. I said, I'm going to hit, you know, I want to do everything I possibly can to make this lucrative for me and my full-time job as soon as possible. So if that means like messaging for 8 hours a day and figuring out how to talk to people, that's what I'm going to do. So it's hard work, but it's totally worth it, guys. I'll just be open and honest about it. I just hit the 6-figure mark with not weekly commission, but with bonuses and with Star Diamond bonuses. And my $500 a month that I get for being top 200. So I'm like, I could never have done this in any other career while I was still an actor full time. There's just no way that this would have happened in any other way. I feel so grateful. And I feel so grateful to myself that I didn't let my excuses get in the way and that I just pushed the extra mile. You know, I just did the extra things every single day. If I set out to message 20 people, I messaged 25 just because I was like, no, that's not, I want to do this right. And I want to do it better than everyone else. That's what motivates me too. So I know that I'm like special and unique in that I'm like, I want to be better than everyone. I want money. I want luxury, whatever. Anyways, find what works for you and run with it. And don't give yourself excuses. I hear so many excuses every day from all of my coaches, and it is infuriating. I could give you every excuse in the book. So I built my business on a national tour of a musical. Right after I started coaching, I booked a national tour of a musical, and I was on a tour for 6 months where we did like 2-night sit downs. So we would be on a bus in the middle of nowhere. And I made my dad buy basically a crazy data package because I still wanted to work while I was on the bus because that was time wasted. And I would sit through I would be in the middle of nowhere in like, we were just in the armpit of America, driving from the armpit of America to armpit of America with no service. And I would sit there on the computer. It would take me 5 minutes to send a Facebook message. And I would just be like, I would just keep going. I wouldn't stop. So just get rid of, just take your excuses and throw them out the window and just keep going. Okay. All right. Let's talk about ratios. So basically what I figured out while I was doing that is for every, let's say, Anita Myron said, if you guys know who Anita Myron is, she's 8th in the company right now. She talked at on the top 10 panel at the cruise, and she said her ratio is for every 30 people she talks to, she gets 1 yes. I think that it's a little bit more than that. I think for every 50 people you talk to, you'll get 1 yes. I think if you get 20 people to say yes to details, you'll get 1 yes. Okay. So, but that's because I've really tried to track it. And what I think you guys should do is, if you're using a certain script, if you're messaging a certain demographic of people, like let's say you're messaging all the people who like and comment on your page, you should put all those people in one column in your contact list and put the script that you used and then put how many people responded to you. Because if it's not a good ratio, maybe you need to switch up the script. Maybe you need to try out a different tactic. But basically what you want to know is, let's say you want to hit SC10, so you need 5 people to sign up, right? So how nice would it be to know, if I talk to 300 people, let's say, I'm going to get 6 people to sign up, and that'll get me to SC12. So all I need to do is figure out during my power hours, let's say I'm doing 3 power hours a week, and I want to talk to 300 people. So I'm doing 12, I'm doing 12 power hours a month, and I want to talk to 300 people. You just divide, 300 by 12. And you need to talk to 25 people a day. You need to invite 25 people during your power hour if you're going to do 3 power hours a week. It's just an equation. So keeping it simple and about ratios, and as much as that hurts a little bit, because we all know that this is a very personal business and we want it to be super personal. And we want it to be a relationship business, which it is. But really, if you want to move your business forward, you need to find the people who you can build the relationship with, who are in need of you. So in order to do that, you have to message 25 people if you're going to do it 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? So take the idea of thinking of people as numbers out of your head and just say the reason that you're doing it is because you have to find those needle in the haystacks that really need your help, that could be totally affected by either joining the coaching opportunity or just joining a challenge. And so I don't know if you have these excuses, if any of you have these excuses that you use, but a lot of my team says to me, I feel bad just messaging this 25 people with the same script. And I'm like, yeah, but no, because you need to you can't waste your power hour talking to people and forming relationships and then find out 10 minutes into a conversation that they're not interested in what you have to offer. Do that on your own time. Talk to them on your own time, but not during your power hour. During your power hour, you were looking for people who are interested in what you have to offer. Okay. So when I talk about ratios, I literally just mean, so if you're going to use a specific script, let's say on Instagram, writing down the amount of people you messaged with that script, writing down the response that you got that was positive, or any response at all. And then knowing that if you use that script with 30 people, you're going to get this many yeses to details. And if you get 20 yeses to details, you're going to get 1 person, So just log everything you do. It's going to really, really help you in the long run. I guess that's basically all I have to say about consistency and ratios. Do you guys have questions for me?
ALY, I actually, so I think it's so easy with people who are just so goal driven for us to come across sometimes like we never hit a hard spot in our business. Can you talk about a time that you maybe felt crippled by something that happened and how you moved past that?
Yeah, sure. There are so many to choose from. I can talk about something that happened recently. So I'm 5-star, and I have a ton of diamonds who have hit diamond and then quit the business. And if everyone who had hit diamond had stayed on, I would be 10-star by now. And it's really frustrating because it's hard not to blame myself for my leadership. It's hard not to think, what did I do wrong in this equation? How did I not convey to them how important it is to hit diamond and then beyond, and how much hard work and effort I put into those people who are now just gone and their downlines are just inactive. And it just was a mess. And it keeps on happening. And so I think Lynette, okay, maybe, yeah, okay. I'm hitting a hard spot right now. So we can talk about right now. I am making 6 figures in my business. I am top 200, an elite coach, 5-star, and I'm having a really hard time. And I'm feeling like maybe it has to do, a lot of these people were my friends. And for me, it's hard to balance the relationship between the business and friends, especially when you're counting on someone for let's say rank advancement, when you're in qualification for a bonus. Like I had one of my best friends while I was on the ship. She promised me that she would hold her diamond, and she had one person that was going inactive. She promised me, she's my best friend. She promised me she called this person because there was no reason for them to go inactive. And it got, I wanted to trust her. It got to about 9 p.m. on the ship before it was the last week of qualification. Then I had to hold it. And it got to about 9 p.m. She wasn't answering my phone calls. She wasn't answering my text. She didn't tell me. And I wanted to trust her and I wanted to believe in her. But I just, it was the last night on the cruise. I burst into tears. My upline, Megan, was just like, you know what? You have to fix the situation. I called my mom. I called my brother. I called my grandma. My grandma and my brother both said that they would sign up under her to make it better, to make it fine for me. And you know what? I called the person she said she would have called randomly. She ended up picking up the phone, and I said, this is very weird. We don't even know each other, but I'm Nina's coach, and you are the crux of my problem at the moment. And I know this sounds hilarious, but are you willing to talk with me about this? I'm in qualifications for a $3,500 bonus, and you're the only thing standing between that and me. And she was so sweet and so nice, but it's hard because now, I got a message from my friend at 3 a.m. being like, I'm so sorry, I couldn't make it happen. She's my best friend. So it's very hard sometimes to juggle, and she wants to quit, but I don't want her to quit. And it's not just for me, it's for her, because she's a diamond. She could just push past this little plateau, and she could start making some very legitimate, sustainable money. And she just doesn't see the potential in it. It's very frustrating to me that I can't show her. So that is something that is consistently happening that I need to figure out, because I can't constantly be popping diamonds and then just leaving, It's very hard. So is that one of those things? Good? Okay, great. If you have questions about anything in the business, I'm happy to take them. So just want to unmute yourself and hit me up. Okay. No questions from anyone.
Well, I have another one if no one else is going to ask. I would like to know, because I think our teams are built with a lot of people who are pursuing multiple passions. Mm-hmm. I think the norm is that we see a lot of people come into Beachbody and they have that dream of wanting to just work Beachbody full time and be able to quit their other full-time jobs. And that's freaking awesome. But I think we are in a unique situation, and a lot of our teams are in a unique situation where we have another legitimate passion that we're full-time pursuing. Can you talk a little bit about how you find the balance and how you keep that other passion a priority in your life and you continue to work towards it day after day.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not easy, but I have recently, I think, sort of figured it out. This is my first real audition season, doing both Beachbody and acting. And the thing is that I go back and forth because it's hard, because in Beachbody I feel so recognized. I have a relationship with corporate. I am asked to do things for them. They recognize me without me asking them to recognize me. And I go into an audition, it's the exact opposite. I'm like, recognize me, please. Give me a call back. And they're like, thank you, bye. You know, I never hear from them again. So it's hard to balance, for sure. But, and you know, the way I get the work in is if I have an audition, I will take my computer with me and I'll do a trade-off. So I'll make sure that I get to the audition, but I'll make sure that while I'm on the subway to my audition, I'm listening to my personal development, so that when I get to the audition and I sign up and I'm sitting there, I'll take out my computer and I'll do my invites. So the great thing about this business is that it's mobile, so you can take it with you. So if you have other things to do throughout the day, as long as you're okay with multitasking and being somewhere else and not being in your home office, it shouldn't be too big of a problem. That being said, it's hard to concentrate sometimes. There are lots of distractions and you want to be in the zone for your audition. But I found, after some trial and error, a couple of things. So I have two passions and I have two goals, because now I'm very passionate about this as well, almost equally. And what I love about the two careers in conjunction with one another is that when one is sort of letting me down a little bit, the other picks me up. Like, I was having a terrible Beachbody day. I was sitting on my computer. It felt like I was working all day. I couldn't think of a single thing that I gotten done, right? And I was feeling kind of bad about myself in that context. And then my agent called and told me I had an audition for something that I really wanted to audition for. And I felt re-energized, and I got a lot of work done that day for Beachbody because I was filled up by that passion. And then when I have a terrible audition, you know, I'll get on my computer and someone will say to me, you are so inspiring to me, or thank you for leading this team. I wouldn't be where I am without you. Or corporate will call and ask me to speak on a network-wide call. And I'll be like, oh, I have worth. All of this is just knowing and trusting in your own worth and what you have to offer the world. And doing Beachbody really has helped me in the audition room know that that's not the end all be all, that I'm not reliant on someone else to tell me that I can live out my passions and dreams. And really, it's just changed my relationship with people in general, because now when I walk into a room, I'm like, oh, you're a casting director. Great. Like, you're a peer, because like I know that I can do whatever I want. I could be a casting director if I wanted to. Great. So we're on the same level. Now let me do my audition for you. And that really, really helps. But the other thing was, at the beginning of audition season, I really went to everything, because that's what I was used to doing, because I needed a job and I hated my other job. I hated working at that bar, and I needed to get something, even if it was only going to pay $300 a week. And now I'm like, it's ridiculous to me that I'm going to wait for 8 hours for an audition at an EPA that I maybe got to a little late for something that's going to pay $300, while my business could be better worked at home. It just doesn't make any sense for me to be making six figures and sitting in an audition room for something that pays $300 a week that I'm not passionate about, because I don't need to take that job. So recently I've been just going to the things that really light me up, that really make me feel like excited. And that's opened up a lot more time for me to work my business in a way that feels good to me. And also really makes me feel good about where I am when I'm at the audition, because I was hating the fact that I was going to things that I didn't want to be at, and that just didn't feel right. And I realized that it was because I was trying to get away from that other job, but I love my life in New York now. And if I don't have to leave, I don't want to. So does that make sense? Okay, cool.
I have a question.
I can't hear you, Christina.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I guess I was speaking too low. So I kind of did a boo-boo in the beginning. I was really, Courtney knows this too because she gets on me about it. I was really excited when I first joined. She can tell you. And I just wanted to help everyone and I wanted all my coaches to succeed. So I didn't have customers at first at all. Like I had 5 emeralds under me, like really fast, like super fast. But I was hand holding. They would text me at 3 a.m. and I would answer. They would like I would always answer because I wanted to help them. I didn't want them to feel like I signed them up and goodbye. And then she's like, you need to let them go. And then I think it was Laura Mendenhall that she said something about how eagles drop their birds. They break the nest so that they could learn to soar, something like that. And then it clicked. I was like, I need to do that. But then I felt like they felt that I abandoned them and my whole business kind of exploded. So now I'm trying to get the momentum up again. And I know with any new person, I'm not going to handhold them. I'm not going to leave them alone either. But I'm having trouble finding a balance. And then there's a lot of people on the coach that have reached, pretty amazing things. And I know they have the potential to do it again. But I think after I handheld them and then I let go of them, they kind of feel like they don't have the motivation.
Yeah.
What to do.
So, when I first started, and I don't know if Courtney's going to like that I'm telling you this, I handheld everyone. And it was really important, I thought, because, I dragged a lot of people along with me, and that's probably why I lost some of my diamonds, and it's heartbreaking. But also, it taught me a lot of things. It taught me how to train somebody. It taught me how to deal with other people who are building a business. It taught me how to relationship build. And then the same thing happened to me, probably at a further point along. I was 2-star and I stopped handholding because I was like, everyone should know what they're doing now. That's just not how it works. Unfortunately, I still handhold at the beginning until the person is ready themselves to fly free. And they always do. I think that you have to set boundaries for yourself. Like you can't be texting them back at 3 a.m. They don't need to hear from you right away. But you're still going to need to be there for them because not everyone has the same skill set. You might understand how to do this better than them, and you might have to teach them. They might not have the same kind of skills that you have. I don't know how else to say it. Like I was saying that to my boyfriend earlier about a coach that I had who just like, it seems like they should know what they were doing. Or I guess I was saying that I had all these coaches in the beginning when I was first figuring everything out. And I guess they just didn't have the same skill set or motivation as me because they all dropped and I went to top 200 and we all had the same amount of information. You know what I'm saying? So you might just have a better grasp on how to build the business than other people. And you're going to find rock stars who won't need you, but there are going to be people that are going to need you for a little while, and you're going to have to just put in the work. And I don't know if handholding is the right word, but you're going to have to teach and mentor, but set boundaries for yourself. So like, don't message them back at 3 a.m., but message them back and teach them what they're doing.
She gave me a good tip. She told me to basically, like they would say, oh, what's this? And it's in the basic training. They should have learned it already. But some of them refuse to do the training. I don't know why. And she'd tell me just tell them where to find it instead of just giving them a link or giving them the answer. And I've been doing that, but I can tell that they're like, why is she being cold? Like, you know what I mean? And then I say, well, it was in the training. And then they say, well, that was really overwhelming for me. And I ask what part, and they don't really answer. And then it's just little things like that, like, oh, I can't do it. And then I'm like, well, I'm pushing till midnight tonight. It's Wednesday, the week ends. You want to push with me? No, I can't. But then they, like, I don't know. It's just a battle.
It's going to be a battle. They just don't get it the same way that you do, but they might at a certain point. And you can be honest with them. I would be transparent with them and say, you know what, I'm really trying to teach you this instead of just like giving you the information, so that at some point you're going to be able to do it by yourself. So it's not that I don't want to give you the information, but I want to teach you where to find it so that if I'm not available, you know where. And just saying that is going to make them feel like, oh, that makes sense. You know what I mean? Instead of just being, because also text can be really hard. If you're not talking to them on the phone, you have to learn how to write in a way that makes it seem like I'm not just telling you to go do something. Like, you have to let them know you still care about them, even though it's frustrating as hell. You sometimes want to rip your hair out. You're just going to be nice to them even so. Because at some point, if they do click in and they get it, you're going to be very happy that you helped them in the beginning. But yeah, I'd say that the main thing is don't handhold, but mentor. And when you're going to do something that seems out of the ordinary for what you would normally do, tell them why before you do it.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah. Casey, I was just talking about ratios. So Casey asks, or Cassie, I have a question. So when you talk about ratios, do you set aside time to form and get to know people and then use your power hour only to send out invites, or do you not really spend a lot of time forming? Okay. This is an interesting question. I don't spend my time forming, but you want to know why? Because people think that they know me because I post so much on my page and I'm so open and vulnerable. So you can skip a lot of the forming that you would have to do by just sharing your story so openly and so vulnerably that people feel like they know you before you start to talk to them. And that's what I've done all along. I do understand that that doesn't happen for everyone right away. I think that forming relationships is really important. But what I think you should do is during your power hour, set out like 10 minutes, no more than that, to just talk to some people, not about Beachbody at all. Just form those relationships and then continue posting, because those posts are much more likely to be seen by the people that you've talked to. It's just a Facebook algorithm. If they know that you're friends with that person because you chatted with them, your post is going to be higher on their newsfeed. They're going to feel like they've talked to you, and they're not going to feel weird about clicking the like button this time. So I think that's one of the huge benefits of forming. And then that also gets rid of that very awkward form to invite transition. Okay. But if you are going to form with somebody and your intention is form to invite, my suggestion to you is that you don't form with them in a normal way that they say family occupation. I don't even know what forming stands for. I'm terrible. I would basically qualify them to see if they're a potential customer for you. So yes, get to know them, ask them questions, but make it all sort of like pointed in the direction you want to know if they're going to be a customer. Like, find something on their page that has to do with like a recipe or food or fitness or something. If you can, talk to them about that, or talk to them about summer coming. Just be creative, summer is coming. Oh my gosh, I'm like really excited. Keep it conversational. Like, I just went out and bought a new swimsuit. Like, that's something that could bait them into saying something like, oh, I'm not looking forward to that, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And you could be like, well, I actually have. Just make sure you're going. Stephanie said, can you an example of your script? I feel like mine has potential, but it doesn't quite reach out. What do you mean? Which script?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you initially want to invite someone, and it's someone you don't know, say, I've been doing a lot of adding, and it's someone you just added. I have this generic script that I like to reach out to people I don't know with, but I have been told that I sound a little bit like a robot. So I don't know how to fix that.
Do you want to send it?
I'd have to go through my stuff.
Right here, I'll pull up my cold invite script. Honestly, I don't know if this one works very well because I haven't used it yet. And my team, here we go. I think it's a little long, but this is the kind of stuff that I like to write. If you read it and it doesn't sound like you would be super excited about it, then do not send it. If you read your script and you say, oh, this sounds like a bore, sounds like a drag and a challenge and awful, don't send that script. So, hey, how are you? I really hope you don't mind me messaging you about something like this. I'm not sure if this would interest you, but I had to ask. I'm running an online fitness boot camp at the beginning of the month. It's officially springtime, and that means bikini weather soon. Heart emoji. But seriously, self-love and taking care of your wellness is so important, so that will be our focus. It's going to be a blast. I already have a bunch of people on board, but I want it to be a springtime blowout. Do you want some info? I mean, I think that sounds pretty fun, right? Sounds like me.
I think that adds to mine's similar, but I definitely needed that extra push, like what yours has. So thank you for sharing that. I'm very new to this, so I haven't heard a lot of what other coaches say. Lynette has taught me a lot, but I definitely wanted to hear from other coaches as well. So
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I try to say to myself, if I got this message, would I be excited about it? Or would I be like, oh, this sounds like work that I don't
I like adding the excitement. I try to do the influence, like saying how they encourage others. If I notice they already do fitness, I'll say how, they already are proving they can encourage. Why not join my team? Because we're doing, this and that. It's always, I edit it. It's not the same thing unless it's just someone, a generic person. They don't really have a lot to do with fitness, and I want to bring them into the group. But
yeah, totally. I had this amazing, it worked very well on Instagram. If I could pull it up. But basically it said like, I think the use of emojis is really important too. I know that sounds so stupid that we're like, I'm like taking selfies. I'm like, I get paid for this. Like, I'm going to use emojis. I get paid for this. Like, this is ridiculous, but it's also amazing. Like, how amazing is our job? But using emojis correctly can make it so much better. I use like that little cone with like the confetti a lot. I use the double hearts. I use the stars because I feel like those are all like really fun. And if you imagine the person behind using those emojis, you think that person's like, and that's like basically what I'm like. So I would say use emojis, and then also like weird speech things that you normally wouldn't use. Like, and I know that we're getting into like script writing now, but this is like, that's what I'm truly passionate about, like script writing. I love it. So I feel like, what was it? It was like, hey girl, thanks for the love of my recent post. I'm loving your page. Oh, it was right after the cruise. It said, can you believe I got that pic with Autumn? Gah! In all GAH, all capitals with an exclamation point, and then like the cone emoji. Girl, you have got to join my team. It would be so much fun. Do you want info? I got so many people that were like, yeah. And then I have a brief description of what we do. And I signed like 3 coaches from that one script. So if you have a golden script, use it and just change it for what you're doing. If you found like your golden script, seriously, use it forever.
Thank you so much for that. That's really good advice.
Okay, cool. All right.
We're going to come to a close here, but I just wanted to say, because I think this is something you've touched on throughout everything you've said, it's not a crime for you to tell people, you've got to join my team. Like that, it doesn't always have to be a question. You are allowed to guide people toward what they want, especially if they've already kind of expressed a want in terms of like getting help or wanting to build an income somehow. You all have those people in your life. And I think what ALY does so well is that she's just bold about saying, join my team. You've got to do this. It's working for me. Why wouldn't it work for you?
Mm-hmm.
When you come at it with that kind of excitement, people of course want to join you.
Yeah, your posture is so key. How you present yourself and the business. If you are shy about it, if you have a fear that they're going to ask you if it's a pyramid scheme or whatever, they're going to ask you. They're going to follow suit to whatever you're giving them. So if you are shy about it, they're going to be shy about it. If you're like, why would you not join this? It's incredible. Oh my God. They're going to be like, okay, sign me up. Like, that's just how it works. So you have to have good posture and you have to practice that. That's a skill. Okay. And when you get scared, take a step back from the computer, take a deep breath, and think to yourself, like, I'm doing good for the world and this person, and I have to stand behind that. Even though I'm scared of what their response might be, I have to show them like how incredible this is. Okay. All right.
ALY, thank you so much for being with us. And guys, you don't have to stay on for this. I always like to end my call in prayer. You are not obligated to be here, but if you want to, awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Lord, thank you so much for just continuing to fill our community with amazing people who understand that being bold is not a crime, and that through being bold, we can continue to help and bless as many people with this opportunity as possible. Please continue to provide us the strength to speak our truths and tell our stories and just inspire across this generation. In your name we pray, amen. Thanks, guys. And ALY, you're the best. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.